Hey kids, I've been roofied by Uncle Gimpy, Gimpy204. Man, that guy's dirty. So we're going to be talking about Gimpy kids, so you got to leave the room. It's grown-ups only. Well, grown-ups who haven't really grown up, but don't worry about that. Just leave the room. This Gimpy guy, he's having a contest, and he basically wants us to look at comics in the most dirty way possible, the innocent comics. I wish I had he wants us, he calls them roofie comics. He imagines the worst possible stuff. So yeah, if you don't know Gimpy, this is what he looks like. He has a beard now, but other than that, this is a pretty accurate picture of him. If you're wondering what I really look like, this is me. This is me. This is Gimpy. Yeah. No. I get to fly around in space. He's tied up all the time. So I got to look through my comics and try to find these pictures of passed out characters that poor old Gimp imagines have been roofied and is about to have horrible things done to them. And this happens a lot to Superman, really. Here the Midnight Cowboy has roofied him, and I don't know, some pretty nasty stuff's about to happen, or maybe already has happened. Here a mad scientist has roofied him and has called hundreds of teenagers to come and have their way with him. Terrible. Here he's been roofied, but he manages to astral project, so I think he's going to be able to protect his purity. Batman, of course, no stranger to roofying the young ladies. There he goes. Here he is with Catwoman. I'm sure, he does it for good reasons. He's solving mysteries, probing for the answers. And this is probably my favorite roofie cover. I love this picture. But it's the Scarlet Witch going for the dark side with Spider, poor Peter Parker. Okay, and then the entire Teen Titans get bad treatment by Brother Blood and his cult of his roofie cult. Fantastic Four gonna have some wild times with their robot doubles and the Mad Thinker. Roofies all around. And Lady Sif roofied by an alien named Spore. Thor's none too happy about it. He's very noble. He would never do anything like that himself. And of course, when you go visit Apocalypse, you're very likely to get roofied, as happened to Scott Free here, to Mr. Miracle. Yeah, so this is all to win his contest, right? He's giving away, because he's so kind of masculine and rough and tumble and dirty-minded that he's going to send one of us a doll, a Mego doll, which is pretty amazing. I don't own a single Mego doll. I never even knew about them as a kid, which I guess is a good thing because I would have wanted them and probably wouldn't be able to get them. Anyway, there's the invaders having been roofied by this Kree accuser. So that looks like a good time. I found even more. I don't have a lot of Silver Age comics, and I imagine those have lots, and I think that's what makes it really funny, the innocent Silver Age comics, where someone like Gimpy, and, none of the rest, no one ever thinks like Gimpy except Gimpy. No one else has a dirty mind or turns something innocent into something tawdry just for a laugh. I mean, I never look at comics and think, wow, those characters look like they're having orgasms. Like, I never see that in this picture. I haven't been looking at covers for this, but suddenly they're popping out at me. But of course, I don't think at all that, Captain Victory's having like a mind-blowing orgasm there. I forget what the name of this character is, but surely he's having some kind of strange orgasm. The Big O, another Omega Man that just seems like somebody having getting their rocks off. And of course, Darkseid does it all the time. It comes out of his eyes, but oh, there he's having a really wild one. It hasn't come out of his eyes yet, but he's working up to it. Different kind of fun by the pool for Rogue. And of course, for Superman, it's kind of a zen, calm experience. Yeah, but he enjoys it. And this guy Prime, he has them, but he does not approve of them. He very much disapproves of them. And do you ever look at covers and think these characters are about to do it? These guys are about to kiss, surely. In the next moment. Now, there's only once that I've seen someone who got wrapped up in a condom and ended up floating around in outer space. But definitely, I think this could happen to Gimpy. Yeah. That saves you from a messy situation. Okay, so I'm not nearly as good at being funny as Gimpy. Or as his mother calls him, Todd. But he had two other questions along with show your roofie covers. Oh, wait, here's something I just bought and it made me think of Todd. Yeah, he might have drawn that. So his other question is to talk about, his other two questions are kind of talk about runs that you've just finished and then runs that you've almost finished, that you're working on finishing. I hope I've got those questions right. The most exciting thing that I finished was a run of the Planet of the Apes. I think it's 1 through 29 or 39. Anyway, I've got them all now. Number 1 and the last one, 29 or whatever it was the hardest to pull off. But I'm really happy, and I plan to somehow sit down and read them all in my imagined free time. And I'm such an ADD kind of collector that I don't do a very good job of completing many runs. But I'm working on completing my run of the War in Spirits. I think I might not have number 1. I need to even double check that. I bought a whole bunch recently and I might have some doubles. And I need to... I think they continued the numbering with the Kitchen Sink series, but to me the Kitchen Sink series is not the same thing at all. So I just want to complete the Warren ones. And then maybe I'll look into completing the Kitchen Sink Spirit Black and White series. And then I suppose my big project, although I'm doing it in my ADD random fashion, is to have a complete collection of all of Kirby's early 1970s DC. And at the moment, in original form, I'm still missing a little bit of each. Missing a little bit of New Gods. I think I'm missing maybe the first 2 issues of New Gods. I'm just missing issue 3 of the Demon. And a bunch of random Commandy issues. I want to collect Commandy all the way through, even after Kirby left. So I'm missing some of those later issues, and I don't have Commandy number 1. I have a reprint of it. And I think I might be missing Commandy number 3. OMAC. I only have 3 OMACs, so I need to get the rest of those. Okay. And then there's another New Gods there. I've got these things scattered about. I need to be better organized. But and then the other thing, I don't really have very much of it at all, but I have the complete Iron Jaw from Atlas Comics. But what I'd like to do is ultimately collect all the Atlas Comics. Atlas Comics were founded by Martin Goodman after he sold Marvel Comics, and he was pissed how the deal went down, and so he made up a direct competitor to Marvel. Tried to steal all the best artists, and published a ton of comic books during less than a year, I believe. Other people probably know the history of it better than I do. But I happened to be a kid collecting or buying comic books at the time, and it was so exciting seeing all these new characters with really good art and everything come out all at once. I think none of them went past a 4-issue run. Many of them just a 2-issue run, and a lot of them even they changed within 2 issues. I have no idea how they could suddenly, after 2 issues, decide, well, this character's no good, let's completely redesign him and give him a new origin 2 issues in. But that's how it worked. But so that's kind of a longer term thing I want to collect. I'd love to have all the Atlas comics ever published, which shouldn't be too hard. And this seems like a good enough place because people who like Gimpy have good taste in old comics. So I just want to say, I want to salute the now dead Herb Trimpe, I guess is the proper pronunciation, who, I loved on the Hulk and on a lot of other things. I remember him doing Kill Raven. There's something to collect. I don't own any, or maybe just one Kill Raven. I mean, I had them all when I was a kid, but of course I sold them. What was I going to say? Yeah, he did lots and lots of Marvel stuff. A lot of Marvel 2-in-1, I think. His style was pretty basic, but he was a really good storyteller. And when he had a special kind of inker on him, his work really shined. Like when John Severin inked him, and here Barry Windsor Smith is inking him, and they really made a great team together. I wish the two of them had teamed up some more. But anyway, I was really sad to hear about Herb Trimpe's death, and I was kind of sad to read that basically during the last 25 years of his life he couldn't get work, which is sad too. So he was a stalwart at Marvel, a dependable and always fun artist. And then suddenly, sometime I think in the mid-90s, he stopped getting work. So he was probably, in his early to mid-50s, and suddenly, end of career. And believe me, that's not a good time to be unemployed. So anyway, I really miss Herb Trimpe. Maybe Herb Trimpe. Sorry, I always say Trimpe, but I know it's Trimpe. Maybe he did do some work after the 90s. Maybe occasionally someone brought him back. Maybe he was also, I think, the original G.I. Joe artist. I'd like to think they brought him back to do some of that. But it's making me want to go. I've always in the back of my mind, like, yeah, if you see any Herb Trimpe, pick it up. But now I want to seek it out some more. But I'm sure I'll continue in my ADD ways. So anyway, overall, this is not about Herb Trimpe, it's about Gimpy204. One of my favorites, the funniest guy on YouTube, craziest funny guy, and an all-around nice, great guy, despite his, being a dirty pervert. Talk to y'all later.